Hello everyone, my name is Dhruva Kumar Hiremath and I'm working as a civil services exam trainer in some of the most reputed coaching institutions in India. Today I'm here to talk about the ongoing political drama in Maharashtra. The Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government, which was a government formed by three different parties, the Indian National Congress, the Nationalist Congress Party and the Shiv Sena, has been tottering to its fall. So what really happened there? Let us understand. The assembly elections in Maharashtra were held in 2019, which was won by the National Democratic Alliance. NDA, or the National Democratic Alliance, is a coalition which is formed by the Shiv Sena and the BJP. BJP had won 105 seats and Shiv Sena had won 58 seats. So together they had 163 seats in 288 member Maharashtra Legislative Assembly. So the minimum that was required basically was 145 out of 288. So since they had 163, they could have easily actually formed the government. But what really happened? There were differences which crept up between the BJP and the Shiv Sena and they couldn't form the government. Later, the governor recommended for President's rule without any option. So what is this President's rule all about? According to Article 356 of the Constitution of India, the President can impose state emergency or President's rule in a state if the government of that state cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution of India. So in this case, since none of the parties were able to form the government by claiming majority, the President was forced to impose President's rule here. After this, the NCP, the INC and the Shiv Sena together, they decided that okay, they should form the government. Now, as a surprise, on the same day, the BJP also decided to form the government. Now, the BJP, along with the NCP leader, Mr. Ajit Pawar, went to the governor and they said that yes, we are going to form the government, and they requested that the President's rule be lifted. So the governor requested the President to lift the President rule, which was duly accepted, and the President's rule was lifted from Maharashtra. Next day, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis and Mr. Ajit Pawar were sworn in as the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister respectively. Now this shell shocked all the other three parties, which were the NCP, the Indian National Congress and the Shiv Sena. Now, claiming this to be illegitimate, the NCP, INC and the Shiv Sena went to the Supreme Court against this. So the Supreme Court ordered Devendra Fadnavis to actually prove his majority in the assembly within 24 hours. Unfortunately, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis could not prove his majority and he had to resign. The government lasted only for 3 days. After this, the NCP, Shiv Sena and the Indian National Congress actually claimed to form the government and Mr. Uddhav Thackeray was sworn in as the Chief Minister. Now, speaking about the present problem, Mr. Eknath Shinde, who is an MLA of the Shiv Sena, and a group of other MLAs have defected from the Shiv Sena camp, citing the reason that the Shiv Sena has compromised on its core value of Hindutva by joining hands with the NCP and the Congress, veering off the ideology of Mr. Balasaheb Thackeray, who had laid the foundation of a very strong Shiv Sena in Maharashtra. But shifting of loyalties has been nothing new in Indian politics. We can see that from the 1960s also. After the 1967 elections, a large number of legislators from the state have actually shifted parties. Now, citing this as a problem, there was a high-level committee that was set up under the then Home Minister of India, Mr. Yashwantrao Chavan. Based on the recommendations of the Yashwantrao Chavan committee, the Parliament passed a law called as the Anti-Defection Law, which was passed as the 52nd Constitution Amendment of India in 1985 and was made part of the 10th schedule of the Constitution. Now, according to this law, an MLA or an MP would be disqualified from being a member of the House if he voluntarily gives up the membership of the political party on whose ticket he was actually elected. So, will the Shiv Sena members now be disqualified under the anti-defection law? Highly unlikely. because the anti-defection law provision does not apply if the number of members of the political party who leave constitute 2/3 of the party's strength in the legislature. Now, this is called split. Now, the MLAs who have left can actually merge into a different party or sit separately in the same legislature. Now, according to the 52nd Constitution Amendment Act, the anti-defection law gives powers only to the Speaker to decide whether a person or a member has left the political party or if a split has occurred. So if the Eknath Shinde group manages to get 2/3 of Shiv Sena's MLAs onto their side, then they escape the penal provisions of the anti-defection law. So what will happen next? It is likely that the BJP will form the government with the support of the breakaway faction of the Shiv Sena led by Mr. Eknath Shinde. If you love the content of this video, please hit the like button and share the video with all your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more such informative videos. If you have an opinion to express, please express it in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Till then, please take care.